Good morning, the sanctuary, on this beautiful Tuesday morning. This morning, we're going to try a little bit of a different software because we've had some uh, internet problems. Let's just say it that way. So, just teething problems. But it's so good to be with you this morning. It was so good to be with everyone yesterday. Thank you so much for everyone that was involved in that. This morning, we'll keep our devotion just a little bit short because we're going to, like I said, trial out how this software will work. All technical things, once we get it good, it'll be good. And we have tried it offline, and so now we'll try live and see if it streams a little bit better. That's the word I was looking for. Yesterday, we started looking at Job, and though he slay me, yet will I trust him, but I will maintain my own ways before him. And we went ahead and looked at how trust takes a lot. Sometimes we're slow to trust, but we can trust God because trust can be built by looking at situations and making decisions based on observable actions, not just a feeling, yes, I'm going to trust this person. No, I don't trust them, but based on observable actions. And then we looked at a few other things. This morning, we're going to have a little look at the book of Job and another way that it speaks to us. If we look at the books of Genesis to Esther, there is a theology, a timeline there that if we read them, we could say, well, this is what God is saying. God is saying, if you do what I say, everything will be well. If you don't do what I say, everything will not be so well. And that is how God presents himself. And that is truly the theology that is presented from Genesis to Esther. And this is pretty much summarized in Deuteronomy chapter 11, where it says, see, I'm setting before you today a blessing and a curse. The blessing if you obey the commandments of the Lord your God that I am giving you today. Verse 28, the curse if you disobey the commandments of the Lord your God and turn from the way that I command you today by following other gods which you have not known. And so God is very clear. He wants us to obey. There's consequences. We reap what we sow, etc., etc. But here in real life, we know that sometimes in real life, that's not exactly the way things happen. In real life, we sometimes see that bad things happen to good people and good things happen to bad people. And this is really part of the crux of the issue that Job helps us to understand, because we look from Genesis to Esther and we see what is God is saying, and we see what is happening when people obey. Everything's good. When they don't obey, it's not so good. But here comes Job. Now, Job is not just your ordinary Joe Blow. Job is a well qualified and well recommended man. Reading from Job chapter 1 and verse 1, there was once a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job, and that man was blameless or perfect and upright, and one that feared God and turned away from evil. So when we talk about Job, we're not just talking about somebody just, everyday Joe Blow, whatever. This is somebody that really has some qualifications, because he's actually spoken of as the greatest man in all the land, because God blesses him. He has given 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, 500 donkeys, and so many servants, the greatest of all the people in the East. And he was also, if you read verse 5 of chapter 1, he was a man of prayer. But what is happening here in Job is that all these things begin to be destroyed. Bad things begin to happen to Job. But Job doesn't understand or realize at this stage that behind the scene there is a supernatural background going on, much like Elijah in 2 Kings chapter 6, verses 16 to 17, where the chariots of fire, you remember the servant was there, he couldn't see anything. Elijah said, God, open his eyes. And suddenly he saw the hills surrounded by chariots of fire. And so Job doesn't know what is going on behind the scenes. And because we're just having a short devotion this morning, but I want to just remind you that there will always be a side of an issue, something going on that you and I don't know about. And that's where we have to learn to trust God. If we knew everything about everything and we knew the why of everything, there would be no trust. When God is just pouring out the blessings and everything is going, and we think we can understand that, we can handle that, we don't trust God. As a matter of fact, if it becomes too much, sometimes we learn to trust the things of this world more than we trust God. But when you go through a trial, when things get tough, when things are ununderstandable, that's bad English, but we just can't understand what is going on. Keep holding God's hand, keep trusting Him, because there's things that we don't understand. And don't let anyone ever say, well, you did this and so this is happening. No, Job is in the Bible very, very clearly to let us know that there is another. So Job did not do things that demanded or sowed seed. He didn't sow seed that demanded this kind of action that happened to him and the bad things that happened. But there was something going on behind the scenes that he didn't know about, but God was still in control. God knew what was happening, and he trusted God. Job trusted God all the way through it. And sorry, it's short devotion, but I want to encourage you again today. There's things going on we don't understand, we don't have to understand, but I encourage you again to trust God as we go through the day. As we go through the book of Job, we'll begin to see the story unfold. Job is not and just a short little book, over 40 chapters. So we're going to see some things happen and begin to understand more about why Job is in the Bible and the lessons that God is wanting us to understand from it. God bless you. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. This